What is up, everybody? TheHunterGT, and today we are going to be reviewing and looking at the Makro pointer. That's right. Craig from ShowMeTreasure.com sent this out to me. He said, "Hey Hunter, I know you have been complaining about your black Garrett pointer. I'd like to send this out to you to review. Give it a try, see if you like it." And well, so far so good. I can say, as of right now, I do like it more than the black Garrett. Do I like it more than the Garrett Pro Pointer AT? That's still up in the air. So I'll let you know my opinion on that at the end of the review here. So there's the box that it comes in. Let's see what we got here. Starting from left to right, waterproof to IP67 standard there. 360-degree detection tip, sensitivity control, LED light, audio alert, vibration, coil interference blocking, and replaceable hard shell case. I really like that feature right there. I'll show that off when I open the case here. And here we go at the bottom right. It won the Turkey Design 2014 Good Design Award right there. So kudos to Makro on winning that award in Turkey. This is a Turkey-based product, so they are based out of the country Turkey. It's not a United States product. I've seen a lot of people complain about that, but I gotta tell you what, if there's one thing I've also seen in all the forums is that Makro and Nokta, N-O-K-T-A, that's the sister brother company of Makro, they have incredible tech support / customer service / making the customer happier than all get out. I've seen just forum post after forum post on many forums, TreasureNet, friendly metal detecting forums, find them all. Just non-stop posts saying, hey, they made it right. If something was not right, if it wasn't working, they made it right. So kudos to Makro and Nokta for that. So let's see what else we got on the box here. It says it includes the carrying pouch, the hard shell case with scraping blade, a fines bag, which I actually enjoy quite a bit, and the belt holster. I spit it out today, Hunter. The belt holster, which I gotta be honest, I don't enjoy, and I'll go over that. I love the fines bag, don't really enjoy the belt holster. So this product here has a lot of pros and a lot of cons in my eyes. So without further ado, let's go over it, get the box out of the way. So here's the nice nifty case that it comes with. I'm not so sure. I love it. I mean, on one hand, I love this. It's a great looking case. It's nice, sleek, black. Zippers function really smooth. Nice chromed zippers here. Great shoulder strap. Awesome. But I almost feel like I'm carrying a musical instrument to, a rehearsal or something like that. Like, oh, I have my flute in here. I'm getting ready to go, blowing my flute or something. It's just, I don't know. When I think metal detecting and I'm going out relic hunting or coin shooting at the park or something like that, this isn't going over my shoulder. I really never, even if I'm gonna, this takes up too much room to go in my bag. I'm just gonna take the pointer itself with the hardcover case and I'm out. I'm out the door. So mixed emotions on this. I do like it. It is really cool. Let's go ahead and open it up here. Take a look. So check it out. I mean, it's great. It has nice foam surrounding the pointer itself. Let's take out the fines bag here. That's what the fines bags look like. We'll throw everything down here. Here comes the belt holster. So it's cool. I mean, everything can collapse right inside of it. The user manual here, your warranty card comes with it like that. Even the strap here, the shoulder strap back here, it came folded up and wrapped up inside here as well. A 9-volt battery was in here as well that I took out and put in the unit itself. And here are the two plastic covers. We'll go over those as well. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty nifty. The way they package it, nobody packages their Pro Pointer like this. So that it is 5 stars. I mean, it's getting the treatment. I feel like, it's like, here's your gift bag at the Oscars or something. You've just won Best Actor, and here's your gift bag. It's like, I don't know, the Chanel or the the awesome bag of goodies here that you get with this. It's really super high quality. It's like, I don't know, man. It's really nice, but at the same time, I don't want to get it dirty. I don't want to really, I just want to kind of go put it in my closet and leave it. That way if I ever give it away or sell it down the road or something like that, you know, it still looks perfect condition. I can never see myself carrying this on my shoulder into a relic site or something, but enough about that. So that's the package it comes in. Mixed emotions on the package like that itself. So let's go ahead and take it out. And there it is, right there. So let's take a look in the manual. The manual gives us quite a bit of information here. I'm going to read over a few things here. So, working frequency, 11.6 kilohertz this runs on. Audio and or vibration alert. 4 levels of sensitivity. Coil interference blocking, yes. It goes through all the dimensions here, which I'm not going to go over. Here, I'll throw them on camera here. How about that? So there are the coil dimensions and whatnot. Let's see if we can get that in. There you go, right beneath the pictures there. Including the hard shell digger case. Detection tip, 3.7 inches, 9.3 centimeters. Weight, 8.3 ounces, so right at a half a pound, including battery and a hard shell on it. Working temperature, -4 to +122, so you can take it out in some pretty nasty weather. Battery 9-volt alkaline, battery life 30 hours. So there's all the important information, especially the frequency, 11.6 kilohertz. A lot of people like to know that. No interference with this in my Technetics T2 or my wife's Goldbug. We have put it pretty close to the coil, turned it on, and we do not get any sort of interference, unlike the Garrett AT Pro or Garrett Pro Pointer AT, which will give my Technetics T2 a little bit of interference. So something to note there. That is pretty much what you get in a nutshell. I think you know what we should do? We should open up the back here. I'm going to go over how to turn it on, turn it off, and all that in the next little segment here. We're just going to go over what it looks like here in this first bit. So there you take off the little screw cap on top to get the battery out, and we're just going to kind of pull that straight out, and you can only insert it one way. As you can see, it has these electronic little prongs there that are only going to insert directly one way. You cannot put it in upside down. Same thing with the battery. I don't know if you can see inside there. I doubt the camera is going to zoom in there, but you can only insert the battery the right way. One side is much bigger and one side is smaller according to the plus minus on there, and it even gives you a plus minus right here along the rim where the battery goes in as well. So small side being the plus, large side being the minus, a large post being the minus there. So we pop it right back in, and these nice red O-ring there, it is quite pliable, this O-ring here. Quite a pliable O-ring, so you know, I guess silicone grease or something like that on it to keep it pliable, but it's really a hefty O-ring. Most O-rings are quite thin. A much better O-ring than what comes on the Garrett Pro Pointer AT, I can tell you that much right now. I really am satisfied with the size, the heft, the feel, the squishy feel of it. No water is getting in this pointer that I can imagine. So, like I said, it only goes in one way. It just sinks right in there like that. And then you get your little ring, pop it right back on. And there you go. We are good to go, and then we hold it down to turn it off. And did you hear that? That is my huge gripe with this. When you turn it off, you get successive beeps like that, whether you are in vibration mode or not. So, huge negative to me. I'm thinking about putting a piece of tape over the speaker or something like that when I'm in the park and go in vibrate mode only. But anyways, that is the Makro pointer in a nutshell. Let's move on to the feature set on how we turn it off and on, and then in part 3 we will get through to the testing with some air tests. Alright, let's have at it. Alright, so how we turn it on. One thing, you know, I left everything out right here real quick. One thing I didn't really go over, the fines pouch here is just a nice neoprene little pouch. I like it. I wish it did have a little lanyard clip or something that you could clip it off your hip or something. You just kind of put your finds in here and then put it in your pocket. So if you already have a pocket, I guess you just put your finds in there. So it's kind of like a pocket inside a pocket. Feels like wetsuit material almost, like a neoprene or something like that. So pretty cool. This thing made out of the same material. Pretty sturdy. I think it'll last quite a while. However, this belt clip right here comes off of my belts every single time. Tried 2-3 different belts, and when I go to pull the pointer out, and it is quite firm. I even left it in there for a couple nights like that, just sitting there trying to stretch it. As you can see, it's quite a pull. So it comes right off my belt when I do that. Fortunately, it does have a spot right here that you can slip your belt through and it won't come off there. So it has a clip-on belt piece and a through belt piece. It's almost like the engineer guy that made this said, hey, I realize this clip isn't the best, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a second option to run your belt all the way through there. So kudos on that. You know, but yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. It does slip right off. So, all right, enough about the case, enough about the strap. Let's take a look at the detector itself. And one thing about the blades here, one does have the scraping blade and one does not. Something I should have gone over in the first little bit here. All right, so here is the pointer. Let's run over the features of it here. All right. As you can see, it is not like the Garrett's where the button is on the side here. The buttons are on the very top. So when it's in your holster, usually I pull it out like that and I'll just tap it with my index finger like that. Or if I yank it out, I can just hit it right like that. It does become natural. Going from the Garrett to this, it is a little odd right at first, but you will get the hang of it. It is second nature now that I've used it for about 3-4 hunts in a row. It is second nature. No issues with it. I like the buttons on top. Now, a friend did tell me that in muddy, dirty situations, there is a tendency, that's the speaker hole right there, and the buttons right here, there is a tendency for dirt to get recessed up in there. Get stuck, I guess. So I guess a good blast of water would be needed at that point, but he did mention that to me. He wasn't quite a fan of this the Makro pointer. I actually like it quite a bit. Button layout does not bother me as much as it did him, but he did say that he did get some dirt up in there. I don't really hunt in muddy conditions, so it shouldn't be a factor. If you do hunt in dirty, water, nasty, muddy conditions, be aware the speaker port is on the top and up in there, so it's sitting like that the whole time as you're walking around upright. It is going to sit and dry and get caked on in there. So he does have a valid point about that. So here it is compared to the normal tool that everybody uses. I can't say, you know, there's a White's TRX, there's some other big dogs out there as well, but this is the, you know, the Garrett Pro Pointer, the AT, the Garrett Carrot. A lot of people use this, or the black version. A lot of people probably use it more than any other pointer out there. So there it is in comparison to Mr. Popular there. Just about the exact same length. So there it is. We will run over some air tests here in a bit and see which one performs better. It's not a comparison video, but that is the normal handheld pointer that a lot of people use. All right, so how do we use this? Well, one beep or one press to turn it on the green button, and it takes about 2 seconds or so, and then you'll hear a click, the light flashes the LED, and now it is on. So let's get a quarter here just to prove it. And right now I have it in beep only mode, tone only mode. To change that, you just hold down this red button, and now I don't know if you can hear that. Now I am vibration only mode. Hold it down again. Now I am in vibration and beep. Hold it down again. And I'm just in beep. So I love the way I can change my tones real quick like that compared to the Garrett AT, where you have to hold down the button, go into the menu, press cycle through 1, 2, 3, 4, and then cycle through all 4 vibrations. It's a pain compared to this. I love the way that I can quickly cycle through my audio to vibration settings just by holding down that red button there. Now, a lot of people may get confused with this detector, with this pointer. You know, green is not on, or green is on, red is not off. To go off, you know, we just pressed it once to turn it on. To go off now, we're going to hold it, and you're going to hear those 5 beeps. Is that annoying or what? Not a fan of that at all. So let's go ahead and turn it back on. So now it's on, and let's turn it off, hold it down. Yeah, and it does that whether you are in vibration mode, beep and vibration mode combined. It will beep 5-6 times like that every time you turn it off. Not a fan. I'm not sure why. Who sat in a room and said, oh, we should make our Pro Pointer beep 5 times to ensure the user that it turns off. You know, maybe just a quick beep or something like that. 2 beeps, or 1 beep on, 2 beeps off. I think most humans can differentiate that. I don't know, so a little bit annoying. So let's turn it back on here. Just hold it. All right, now to turn the light on, we're going to just tap the red button. See, so now the LED, you can see that it is on now. We're going to tap it again, and now it has turned off. All right, so pretty easy. Tap the red button, light comes on, tap it, light comes off. Hold the red button, cycle through your audio. So you'll get used to it. It may seem a little complicated at first as I'm explaining it, but go over the manual. It's pretty intuitive once you get used to it. Definitely not a problem, something to get used to. Now to cycle through sensitivity, you're going to double tap green for up, double tap red for down. So right now we're on sensitivity 4, so let's double tap down. 1, 2, and you get a beep for each one. So now we're on 1 sensitivity. Let's go to 2 beeps, 3 beeps, 4 beeps, and we are at sensitivity 4. So red is to go down, and it has a plus or minus on it. So red down 2. There we go. 2 more taps, 2 more taps, and you get 1, 2, 3, and 4 beeps for each of the 4 sensitivity settings, 1 through 4, obviously. So there we go. Now, one thing I want to point out about this, it was falsing like crazy for me earlier. I tested it on 2-3 different sets of batteries, Duracell, Energizer, even a lithium-ion 9-volt, an 8.4-volt lithium-ion, quote-unquote 9-volt. And on sensitivity 4, when I held it straight up in the air or sideways, it would false like crazy. I have not been able to duplicate that at all in like 2 days, 3 days now. It's something I actually contacted Craig at Show Me Treasure. He grabbed one of his and he says, yeah, this one's doing it too, actually on sensitivity 4. Anytime it would go back upright, not that you're pinpointing anything in the air, but it's something to note, it would false like crazy. So I want to mention that. I've seen it posted in other forums in the UK and Australia where on sensitivity 4 it will false from time to time. Something to note. I cannot get it to do it right now in the review. I cannot get it to do it in the last 2 days. I don't know if it just like fixed itself. It's the same. I'm running the same battery since I got it. It says 30 hours on the battery. I've been counting the hours. I'm probably at about 10 hours to 15 hours right now. So just put in a fresh battery and I got the exact same results actually with it. I've been testing out all sorts of batteries trying to get it to false, checking distance with the lithium ion. I can tell you the lithium ion, the EBL 9 volts that run 8.4 volts. You can get them on Amazon, eBay. I run a lot of the lithium ion 9 volts in all my products, and it gets the exact same air tests and depth tests as it does with the 9 volts. So tested tons of batteries with this. And that is basically how you run through it. So on, just one quick press of the green, off, hold it down, one press for the light, one press off on the light, hold it down the red to cycle through your audio options, double tap green to go up sensitivity, double tap red to go down sensitivity. I am just going to do a quick little look through here, and yeah, that is pretty much it. There isn't too much else to go over other than some testing. Let's check out some air testing and see what we get. Alright guys, so here we are with the air testing. Let's go ahead and see what sort of distance we get. Now I have the tip of it right at the 1 inch mark just to hold the ruler down. So our first inch is going to say 2, 3, 4, so we're just going to subtract an inch from it. Let's go ahead and turn it on here. We'll make sure we're all the way up. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab some items here. Let's start off with a gold ring. See what we get. So it looks like right at 2 inches there. Right at 3 it starts to beep. Alright, so that's a 10K gold ring. So let's go with a silver ring. So right about, what's that, 1 3/4 inch there. It starts to beep. Let's try something real small like a BB. Here's a small BB. So at about a 1/2 inch it looks like that starts to beep there. Let's go with a zinc penny. So about 2 inches there. A copper penny. About 1 3/4 there. A dime. About 1 3/4 there roughly as well. A nickel. So we're looking at about what, 1, 2 1/2 almost on a nickel. 2 1/4. Yep, about 2 1/4. And here comes a quarter. So just a hair less than 2 inches there. A little bit more than 2 3/4 and a hair less than 3, oh, I'm sorry, 1 3/4 inches. So a hair less than 2 inches on a quarter. So that's odd. So it really likes the gold range. We'll actually pick up the zinc penny just a little bit further out than the quarter, and the nickel as well. Yeah, the nickel's past 2 inches there. Yep, so that's about 1 3/4 inches. Remember, we're subtracting 1 from whatever number we're at, so excuse me if I misspeak here. So yeah, about 1 3/4 there on that, on the quarter. Alright, so that is on high sensitivity. Alright, so let's go ahead and bump it down real quick. We'll just go through a couple of them. We'll just run it down to 3. So let's check the quarter again. So just a couple 1/16 less. We'll check the nickel. And it's about a 1/8 less. Seems to be about an 1/8 inch less. Let's try the gold ring. Yep, same thing. So about an 1/8 inch less on most objects. Let's go down again to 2. So there's 2 beeps. Get it right on the end of the 1 there. There we go. Let's try the quarter again. So now we're about 1 1/2. So seems to lose about an 1/8 inch of depth just about every time we go down. Let's try the gold ring again. Yeah, so 1 1/2 now. So let's see if it'll still pick up the BB at sensitivity 2. Yep, still picks it up. Good stuff. Let's go all the way down to the lowest. So there we are at 1 beep, just to make sure. Tighten that back up right on the inch line there. Let's see if it picks up the BB on 1. Sure does. See on the side. And the detection stops right there, about 1 inch up or so on the side. Alright, let's try the gold ring. Still at about 1 inch, 1 1/4. Let's try a quarter. About 1 1/4 inch. Let's try the nickel. About 1 1/4 right under 1.5 inches. So still pretty good. Still over 1 inch on the lowest setting for just about everything there. So let's try the silver ring on low. Still at 1 inch, right over 1 inch. So everything, even on the lowest setting, over 1 inch. On the highest setting, you're looking at about 2 inches, and then you lose about 1/8 to 1/4 each time you go down, skip down on the sensitivity. So the big question is, will this outperform the Garrett AT Pro? Well, let's find out real quick. Turn this off. And we are going to turn on the Garrett Carrot. And we're going to make sure yep, so there is its highest setting. And we're going to turn it off and then turn it back on just to be safe here. Alright, so there it is right at 1 inch. And let's start off with the nickel. See what we get with the nickel here. And as you can see, we're at like 3 inches there. Just about 2 3/4, and it's starting to hit that, so pretty comparable. And here we go with the 1/4. About right at 2 1/4 on that. Let's try a gold ring. 2 1/4 on that. Let's try the little BB. So pretty comparable. Pretty comparable. 2 inches there. And let's try the zinc. That was the dime. And the zincs clear out to 2 1/4. So, are they pretty comparable? Yes, they are. Let's go. Let's try the nickel. Just to be 100% here, we're going to do the nickel and the 1/4. That the nickel's a big gold ringed object. The 1/4's a big object. So, there it is at a full 2 1/2 on the nickel. 2 1/4 on the 1/4. So 2 1/2 on a nickel, 2 1/2 on the 1/4. Let's turn it off. And one more time with the macro here. There we go, all the way up. Right there. Let's try the 1/4. So it was 2 1/4 with the AT. So we're looking at about, what, a 1/2 inch difference there on a 1/4. And just about the same on the nickel there. So about a 1/2 inch difference on high. Not too much difference. One thing I wish that the macro had, let's go over some pros and cons here over these two here. One's black and one is orange. I definitely like black better than orange. This one has a lost alarm. I definitely wish the macro pointer had that. I do like the way I can cycle through the plus and minus on this with just a quick double tap. For this, I got to hold down the button, go into the menu, sit there and cycle through. Not a fan of this. This is much easier. This has a single button detune. This has no detune. To detune this, you basically have to double tap your sensitivity to go all the way low and then go from there. It's real quick and easy. I do like the single quick detune of the Carrot. It has a lost alarm here, no lost alarm here on the macro. Performance is about a 1/2 inch better on the Garrett, so it's up to you if you want that extra 1/2 inch on a pointer. You know, I run this one on sensitivity 2-3 most of the time, not even the highest setting. Same thing with the Garrett. Usually we run it on sensitivity 2. So I don't really want 3 inches on my pointer. 2.5 or so like these both give me is plenty. I think that they're both pretty comparable. I've used both extensively. I've put many hours on this one. When my wife's not with me, I grab this all the time. And I've put in, you know, probably 10-15 hours so far on the Makro pointer. It's not like it needs 100 hours. It's a pro pointer, you know. Which one do I prefer? It's a toss-up. I gotta be honest. I don't mind the button placement of the Makro. Some people complain about that. I like that I can cycle through it much quicker. I love that it comes with these 2 plastic covers. I absolutely... Oh, dropped one on the floor there. I absolutely love these covers. I think this is the greatest idea ever. You see a lot of guys plastic dipping these and dipping them in bed liners, stuff like that. I guess that voids your warranty according to some guys. They say you got to peel it off before you send it back. I'm not really a fan of that. So I did plastic dip mine, my black one. I plastic dipped my Garrett pointer, so I'm guilty as charged. But I really like this. This is great. I really like, you know, the little things that it came with here. The little pouch, this thing here. What am I calling it? The belt holster. The belt holster. Lost my words there. So it's a good kit. You know, this thing. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I think it's maybe a little overkill. I would like to see them maybe just offer the pointer at maybe like 20 bucks, 30 bucks less, and keep all the kit out of it and just offer the pointer and the holster maybe, and maybe one of these or something like that, or maybe even make these an accessory. You know, I can do without this. I can do without the strap or the holder here with the strap. I can do without the one with the scraper blade here. Just give me one cover. They could have cut down cost maybe a little bit, but at the same time, it's 125 bucks for this one and 127. This one's $2 more, and it comes with nothing. So something to, you know, think about. Do you need that 1/2 inch of depth? It's up to you. Do you need your button here? That's up to you. Do you need that instant detune? You know, that's up to you. I'm not going to sit here and play favorites or anything like that. You guys can play devil's advocate. I like them both pretty similar. If I only had to pick one, boy, that is a tough decision. I just don't know. I see myself grabbing the Makro just as much as I do the Garrett. I do prefer both of these over the original black Pro pointer from Garrett. That is absolutely both waterproof to 10 feet. So I think you can't go wrong with either one of these. Made in the USA, made in Turkey. I know some of you good old boys, you know, you need that US stamp on your stuff. That's cool, definitely. What I understand though is Makro is great on customer service, tech support. They really stand behind their products. So does Garrett. I never have a bad thing to say about Garrett products. So alright guys, I think this review is probably running at about a 1/2 hour, 45 minutes already. I'm positive of it. So I will shut up now. There it is. The Makro pointer. I like it quite a bit. I really, other than the 5 beeps when you turn it off, I really don't care for that, and it was falsing on me on sensitivity 4, something I have not been able to repeat in the last couple days, so something to note there. You know, if I can't prove it on camera, I guess, you know, I should probably just shut up about it, I guess. But I did have the issue. I did have the issue with it falsing, pointing straight up in the air, or even sometimes when I laid it down on the grass and I thought, oh, hey, maybe I'm next to a target. But I tried it in all sorts of scenarios. It's like a tipping thing, almost like a mercury switch inside that when you tip it, it starts to false or something. So hasn't done it in the last couple days on different batteries, almost like it fixed itself. So it is what it is. So there it is, guys, the Makro pointer. Thumbs up for me. I don't really have too much bad to say about it other than the beeps and maybe the overkill on the case. It feels so good. It is super quality. It does not feel cheap. It really feels like a good pointer. Thumbs up to Makro for it. Really enjoy it. That is it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. TheHunterGT signing off. Thank you so much to Craig at ShowMeTreasure.com for sending this to me to review and test out. Cannot say enough good things about that guy, so go hit him up. Craig at ShowMeTreasure.com. Hit up that contact form and let him know the Hunter GT sent you. Signing off, guys. The Hunter GT. I will see you on the next video.